Hey team, this week's hot topic is how to deal with change. Change happens, so let's learn how to embrace it. Grab your pen and your paper and let's go. Dealing with change is an everyday thing. It's going to happen. So rather than fear it, let's face it and embrace it. Acknowledging change is going to be the first thing that you need to do. Most of the time it just happens, and then we're a little scared because we don't really know what's going to happen. What's going to happen next? You project normally a negative thought onto that. Let's turn that around and try and make it a little bit more positive. Change our mindset and start to embrace change and not fear it. So acknowledging what the change actually is, write it down. Writing down things and putting them in front of you is always going to be a positive action. So if you're a little scared or you start to project things that aren't even real yet, I want you to go ahead and write down exactly what that change is. Look at it on the paper. Most of the time you'll see it and you'll start to come up with some ideas on how you can face it or how you can walk around it or move with it. Facing your fear is the fear that you've probably normally created yourself. It hasn't actually happened yet. When life is about to change, whether it be professionally, whether it be privately, or maybe they're both together at the same time, this can cause a lot of anxiety and stress, but we do put a lot of that pressure on ourselves before it's even happened. And that's that word projection. So we start to think about what could actually happen from this change before it's even happened. So maybe it doesn't happen. So rather than projecting something in your mind and scaring yourself, creating that uncomfortable anxiety in your stomach and a little bit of stress, go ahead, write it down. What exactly is changing in your life? How is it making you feel? All of those things matter. Your feelings matter towards this change, so write them down and acknowledge them. You can even put a pro and a con list underneath that acknowledgement. So you can write down all the positive things that could come from this change and all the negative things that could come from this change. Hopefully the positives outweigh the negatives, but if it's the other way around, it's also okay. You write them down and they're never going to be as bad as what you've probably projected. Seeking support in change is a strong move. It's not a weak move. If you feel that you need to talk to somebody, go ahead and do it. Is it a friend? Is it a professional in that particular area? Whatever it is, communicate, communicate, communicate. Talking in any form of change is the biggest help ever. Somebody else is going to help you listen to yourself. Even if they're just sitting there listening, you'll hear yourself talk. And sometimes that can be support in itself, and you start to acknowledge something. All right, you're going to move forward, you're going to accept change, and you're going to face it straight on. Replace it with positive thoughts. I know this sounds easier said than done. Writing things down and having a look at what is scaring you. Okay, so if you want to focus on the negative part of what's changing right now, then you can do that. But I want you to try and replace all of those thoughts with something that's a little bit more positive. There is always a positive side to something. You just need to be open to be able to write that down for yourself and find out what that is. It's actually a fun exercise, so go ahead and try it. Write it down in your book. Be a part of the change. I do understand that some of us embrace change more than others. People who have a strong routine in their life are going to struggle a little bit more than somebody who's a bit more like a freelancer. If you can embrace a bit more change and allow yourself to be creative in that time, this can be very, very rewarding. You might have change happen in your life that's allowing you to have a bit more free time and spacing up your day a little bit more. Don't sit there in fear. Create something. Remind yourself of something that you've always wanted to do. And if this is still a little bit scary, I want you to think back on another time that you had a big change in your life. Can you think of something now? If something pops in your head, I want you to write it down And maybe it comes to you a little bit later, and that's okay. Did you get through that? Yes. So you're going to get through this change as well. Writing something down that you've already gotten through and how you got through it is just going to show you that you've progressed and that you made it through, and that you're also going to make it through this, because this too will pass and you will make it through. How you make it through is totally up to you, and we want to do this. We want to do this by embracing it and moving through in a positive manner. Helping you through this is going to be health, and I'm going to fire this at you in 100 different ways, because that's exactly where I come from. Eating healthy makes you feel good. Eat whole foods. Do some exercise. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be hardcore. It could just be going for a walk after dinner. It could be going for a walk in the morning. It could be turning up to a class, or it could be doing a workout in your living room. Make a routine. Stay structured. Create a new routine, or try and maintain your old routine as best as you can. This will keep you focused and help you feel that your old, or what was happening before the change, is still kind of there. If that possibility is not possible, then go ahead and create a new routine for yourself, because this is achievable. Write down a new routine with all the facilities that you can work with. Eat healthy, look after your body, and in return, your body's going to look after you. And I'm not just talking from here down. I'm talking from up here as well. Speak kind to yourself as well. Continue your routine that you were doing before, or create a new one. Seek help if you need it. Support, talk to someone. I promise you, you're never on your own. Let's deal with change together, and let's embrace it. I hope you enjoyed that hot topic. Make sure you subscribe to our videos and give me a big like. If you want to drop a comment below on maybe a change that you're struggling with, we can have a chat about it. If you missed out on this video about structure and routines, I would love for you to go ahead and watch that, because that is going to help you deal with some change.